Hi guys, and welcome back to class. Today, to start off with our lesson, we're going to annotate for sensory language. Reread the 3 full paragraphs on page 112, from "No one would believe" to "Come nearer," and underline all examples of sensory language. Remember that when you account or come across sensory language, you're looking for something that gives you sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste. So whatever you're reading should invoke your vision. It should invoke your sound, touch, smell, or taste. Use these symbols: SI for sight, SO for sound, TO for touch, SM for smell, and TA for taste in order to annotate. So some examples would be howling waste. This would be sound and sight. Still helmets. Sight. Machine gun is barking. This would be sound. The word barking is a vivid descriptive or sensory language word. Wire entanglements are torn to pieces. This is giving me touch. Machine guns rattle. Rifles crack. Sound. So this is what you're looking for when you go throughout the text. Write down a sense that you think was evoked most vividly. Did you use your sound, taste, touch, smell, or hearing the most when you read that scene or read that page? Paragraphs on page 112. And why did you choose that sense? Let's look at our focusing question task and our focusing question and our content framing question. Our content framing question says, reveal, what does a deeper exploration of film techniques reveal? So I want you guys to think about, what do you notice about the sound? So you're going to replay the 2 minutes of the excerpt, The Charge, which was this video here. And you're going to tell me, what do you notice about the sound? I will have a link of that video up in Schoology for you guys to rewatch. And then I want you to look at the diegetic sound of handout 21A in order to answer the question. So remember, when we looked at our film techniques and we looked at diegetic sound, it said sounds that occur within the action of the story. They include characters' voices and dialogue, sounds made by figures or objects, so maybe you hear a door slamming, or background noise such as wind howling. Do you hear any of that in the video, and where? What term from the diegetic sound list would you describe the sounds of the bombs and explosions and the gunfire in this clip? What diegetic sound would you choose? Is it a diegetic sound, a non-diegetic sound, or all sounds? What type of sound technique is it? What is one sound in the clip that you did not hear? Then now I want you to read the all sound section. So that's here. So we have timing, volume, and tone. How would you describe the effects of the timing and the volume? How would you describe the tone created by the sound clip? Now I want you to review your annotations of your sensory language. How did the film's use of sound seem similar to the different from sensory descriptions of sound in the novel? And how did the film's use of sound seem different? So now that we have examined how a film and a novel use different techniques to create a sense of sound, a film can use a range of audio techniques, and a novel can use sensory language to evoke sound. So in a film, we're seeing these types of things: diegetic sounds, non-diegetic sounds, and all sounds. But in text, when we read, machine gun is barking. This is how they would invoke a sound inside of reading, by giving us sensory and descriptive language. Remember that a novel can use writing to convey a character's thoughts or an abstract idea. Look more deeply at how a film uses specific techniques to convey an abstract idea. So let's look at this. Silently reread the following paragraph from page 113 in chapter 6, from when the men are engaged in trench warfare on the front to we have become to be revenged. And then write this definition down. Alienation. It means to, or annihilation. It means to completely break up, shatter, or ruin without any hope of being rebuilt, or the state of being completely broken or damaged, or devastated, or devastation, obliteration, or ruin. What is the passage saying about annihilation? What does the choice of the word annihilation reveal about the novel's attitude towards the war? Think about your discussion of annihilation and play back the section of the charge from 121 to 205 and create a T-chart, writing down where you see visual techniques and where you see sound techniques. What techniques does the filmmaker use to convey the idea of annihilation? What do they show you? What visuals show you annihilation? What sounds show you the annihilation? Remembering that annihilation means that it's completely broken or ruined and there's no hope of it ever being rebuilt. Where do they visually show you that something is no longer going to be able to be rebuilt? Where do you hear something that tells you that something is no longer ever going to be able to be rebuilt? Now I want you to write a small paragraph answering these questions. Describe the techniques and the filmmaker used to convey the idea of annihilation. Explain what those choices reveal about the film's attitudes towards the war, and how is the film's depiction of the war as annihilation different from the novel's? Which version is more effective at conveying the idea of war as annihilation? And also, don't forget to update your status reports. How does the soldiers' conversation about Kaiser's visit reveal attitudes towards the war? This we'll find on 205 through 207. And then ending our lesson with our content framing question. What does a deeper exploration of film techniques reveal? Write an exit ticket in response to the following question. How did this lesson build your understanding of what analysis of film techniques reveal? Now to our vocabulary deep dive. You're going to read page 203 from Yaden Disappears and underline the word interject. The word inter means between, or the prefix inter means between. So now knowing that inter means between, what are some context clues that can help you understand the word interject and its prefix, inter, meaning between? Here's the definition of interject. To introduce a remark or comment between words or remarks or in the middle of a conversation or discussion. Or in other words, to chip in your opinion or to interpose your opinion. If someone is talking, two people are talking together, and then someone else comes up and says something in between their conversation, they are interjecting. The word ject means thrown. So in other words, to throw in your opinion or to throw in your comment in between others' words. So how does the meaning of ject apply to the definition of interject? So using your knowledge of what ject means, I want you to look at page 89, starting with very good, says Kropp getting up, and read through to the orderly room sits our Lieutenant Bertink and calls us in one another on page 90. Himmelstoss has arrived, and Paul and his friends have enjoyed teasing him, especially Yaden. CB means confinement to barracks. So this is some background information that you need in order to be able to understand page 89 through 90. So looking at the word conjecture, to make a judgment or propose a solution that is usually not based on much evidence, or to speculate. How does the knowledge of the root ject relate to the use of the word conjecture on page 90 of the novel? That's going to be all for today. Again, if you have any questions, please come to office hours between 11:22 a.m. to 12:06 p.m. That'll be all.